All right, folks, welcome to What's Your Story. Another great guest is with me as we kind of talk about life lessons and words of wisdom. And this time we're going to kind of talk about the YouTube and stuff. The tubes has been difficult for this man. It's been a story that many of us know. We were all out there tweeting and hitting up YouTube going, listen, I don't know what y'all are doing, but y'all got to figure it out. This guy's kind of fell victim to some of that chaos. Scott from Sporking News. Brother, what is going on, my friend?
Not much, my friend. Thank you for having me on first. I appreciate it. Hello to your audience. Yeah, you know, the YouTube thing is it's a crazy game because it's the biggest dog in town, and they make it kind of hard for you to make the same amount of money you can, even though it's little, anywhere else. So they call the shots. You know, they used to be an open mic, say what you want to say, unless you're being unless you're threatening or being really harassing or anything like that. And now it's like they pull the trigger on anything. It's whatever they feel is inappropriate. And mine were shorts that I edited the way they say to edit. I was warned by Gary from Nerdrotic and Tom Connors and a bunch of other people not to do it, but it was growing my channel, and it was House of the Dragon shorts. And we edited them. I mean, there was probably 16 edits in each one, and that doesn't include the writing we put in, the different ratio, the aspect ratio of the video, like pulling it in or closer or pulling it out. We literally like recut the scenes, and they told you could do that. But then once I was getting, hundreds of thousands of views from them, they decided that they were going to give me 2 strikes in one day. On about 17 of them. And then a week later, they demonetized me.
Yeah. Okay, so before we get too much further down this rabbit hole, let's back up just for a second and talk about you, the YouTuber. Like, how on earth did you even get to the point where you're like, listen, I'm going to turn this microphone on, I'm going to do this YouTube thing, and I'm going to do this first and foremost. Let's talk about that first.
Yeah.
It's like a little bit of a precursor to kind of like how it went all awry and gave you such a big speed bump on your journey. So let's back up to the beginning a little bit and talk about how on earth did you end up behind the microphone, my brother?
I always been the type of person that, I like to talk. And I like to, I like to have debates with people, even arguments at a point where you can respect each other afterwards. But it was pretty much Game of Thrones season 7. After season 6, I was like disgusted with it. I was like, this is terrible. All my characters are not doing what you would expect them even close to do. Tyrion, one of the smartest people in Westeros, is dumb now. So season 7, first episode, I was just like, this is garbage. So I started looking online, and A Song of Ice and Fire, which those YouTubers like to go by, are a great group of people. They're so nice and warm and friendly unless you disagree. There are some of them that are very pro George R.R. Martin, and they were very pro the show. And if you said anything negative, you got people pretty much blackballed you. And I was just like, well, I'm not going to lie to be like, cool in people's chats. So I kept looking around, and I found Nerdrotic's channel, and he had, I want to say under 5,000, but I'll say under 10,000 subs. And he was speaking exactly what I thought. The chat was on fire saying what I was thinking. So that season, I went along with them, and I was listening to Gary, and it opened me up to other channels like Midnight's Edge and Geeks and Gamers and all these other, the people at the time, Doomcock and everybody. And I was like, I could totally do this, but I don't have the equipment for it. And that was always my excuse. I don't have the equipment. And it was one chat that Drunk 3PO was having, because I got to know him a little bit. He just hit 1,000 subs, and he could live stream from his phone. That was a big deal to him. So he was outside his car, and he was just, I don't know if you know Drunk, but Drunk is so motivating when he wants to be. And, Stephen Walton was in the chat, and a couple other people. And it was just like, he said exactly what I needed to hear. It doesn't matter what you have. You could start with the crappiest, camera, which is on my Chromebook, which I had. So it was a camera on my Chromebook, and I was using earbuds as my microphone, and he just said, go for it. So I started my channel on that, and that was the beginning of something that's been a lot of fun for me.
It really is so truth that he hit the nail on the head, right? Like, I mean, I don't know about you, but I listen to people who are doing all sorts of different things in different ways. And right now we're having a little storm here in Central Florida. So yeah, well, that's why we're behind the icons, and we're trying to hopefully get through some possible tech issues with weather. Because if any of you use StreamYard, you know it's not a lot of fun to watch your little meter going up and down like crazy with
Yeah.
no control whatsoever. But
Yeah.
here we go. We persevere. Um, so I agree, because I totally wasted I don't know how many years doing this. First off, for other people who had
Right.
like studio equipment, and then two, someone just said, by the way, if you just use USB microphone, USB camera, you'd be fine. I'm like, oh, I
Yeah.
would have just been so like so much time was wasted. And yeah, you hopefully, I want to use this sequence and this series as a way to help find ways to motivate other people. And if it's hearing that from you or hearing it from anyone else, like, guys, whatever your voice is, whatever you're doing, just do a little bit at a time, do a little bit more, one
Yeah.
show a week, one show a month, whatever it has to be. I found you early on into being the quote, as I call it. I'm going to come up with my 1 year of dedicated pops. That's what I'm calling it, my dedicated
Right.
pops time. Like, I just kind of shed away a lot of the other stuff I'd been doing, and you were one of the first people. I barely interacted with you, and you were like, oh yeah, Pop does these great videos, you guys go check out Pops. And you made me a wrench out of nowhere. I didn't know what a wrench was. I was literally, how there's a little information button, like it tells you what a
Yeah.
wrench is. I mean, I had an idea what a wrench was, but I was like, wait, does this come with any other requirements? Because I don't want to tell this guy I can do something I can't do. I was like, you were one of those early people for me. You're like, hey, yeah, go to it, man, go to it, do your thing, and
I think
I've
we
never
need
forgotten
that.
Never forgot.
Well, I appreciate that, man. I never knew that, actually, so that means a lot. Well, to me, it was, like, you probably said a couple things in the chat. I was like, I got to check him out, see if he has anything going on. And usually, if somebody has a couple videos, I don't care really how great the quality is. It's what, the quality of what you're saying is important to me, not the video. And
right.
You just had a great presence about you. There's a lot of guys like that are small YouTubers that I am like, maybe not always typing in their chats, but their live streams I'm watching because I think they're really good.
Mm-hmm.
I just, sometimes when I get into the chat, and this sounds so arrogant or egotistical, I don't know.
I know what
but
you're going to say.
It almost takes away. It takes away from their stream. So I don't want to do that.
I don't want to be the topic. I don't want to be the conversation. I don't want people. I know everyone, and people know I listen a lot at work.
Yeah.
So, I'm listening at 1.5, 2 speed, or, if I'm not catching up, and if I'm listening, like if I say hi or I make my comment, I'm like, oh crap, that's gonna be all these hails. How you doing? What's going on? Well, and I'm like, I can't answer right now. I can't do that now. So now I'm like, I'll wait till the very, very end and comment. So at least I was able to let people know, hey, listen, brother, I was there. I had your back, man. But I'm with you, man. It is so much fun listening to people who are, really, really new. Yep. Also, like, just, because live streaming is such a slower burn, right? To get you your subs and get you your hours and stuff. It's just everything is a different equation. Did you really enjoy doing live streaming, or did you do other videos and stuff first, or were you kind of an amalgam of everything?
So when we started out, it was, videos were definitely a bigger, like I had more time to do videos then. And then live streaming, we started our own little like group. We consider ourselves like the fourth wave of the Fandom Menace, group. There was like, your first wavers, and then like so we felt like we were kind of the fourth wave. So we started a little group, and we would stream at least once a week. And I like talking to other people mostly. Like, that's why podcast is in the name of my channel, which I tried to change and people got mad at me. Because like, to me, the conversation's more exciting for me and more fulfilling than me just doing a video. Because when I do videos, I don't edit very well. So there's a lot of ums and stutters and missing names and forgetting like, oh my God, I forgot this character's name. And people are just like, you're a poser. And it's like, no, dude, I am just like, one thing you'll learn about me, I am terrible with names. Terrible. Like, I can't pronounce them. Like I was going to say,
we make fun of you.
Oh yeah,
We make fun of
everybody
you. There's
does.
tons of there's tons of gags of. I mean, literally, what was the thing you did on? Oh no, it was Witcher. It was the blood orange,
Oh yeah, the blood
and
orange. I could
right,
not stop saying that.
the blood orange. Oh my
Yep.
gosh, the blood
Yep.
orange lived on for like 2 weeks. Like I first off, I do videos. I had to do exactly what you said. I had to resign. First, I had to resign myself. I can either do content and live with some of the ums and some of the problems,
Right.
or not do content. Just time management. Brother, we are
Right.
cut from the same cloth, man. I forget my ADD will run down a rabbit's
Same.
hole and brain fart on me, and
Same.
we're cut from the same cloth. It's
I think,
crazy.
yeah, I at times think that's the reason why I don't go on some of the like bigger channels, because like they know I know my stuff, but like I could be talking like, because I also really enjoy talking about ancient history and lost history and technology and the idea of pre-diluvian life and blah blah blah. But I'll mess up like everybody's name and every thing I'm trying to say because I get so excited and it's like squirrel and I'm thinking about something else right off the rip. You know, it's but you know what, that's become like my thing. Like the funny thing is you think it's like your weakness, but it endears you to certain people. Like you're absolutely right. Me not saying things correctly is one of the, I have people reaching out to me saying they laugh their ass off because they can't say that word, or like my mom always messes up that word. It's like what? But whatever, you know. Like I'm such a small YouTuber, but it's funny because I feel like there's a lot more people that know. Maybe not know me, but maybe my subscribers really do like watching my stuff. You know how like there's channels you might subscribe to, but you maybe watch a video here and there. Like I feel like my following of people, they really like get it. They understand like what we're about. They know we want to have fun. We're not, you know, all the names they call us. We just have strong feelings on certain things, and other things we could joke about, but or pretty much anything we could joke about. But you know, they're in it. They like remember episodes where I screwed up how to say, and I'm going to screw it up right now, Vietnamese. I always say something, I say that wrong every time. But that's like they want me to make a t-shirt about it. Like it's pretty funny. This YouTube
I think
world,
there's something that's authentic about that, right?
yeah,
Because you're just being you.
perfect.
You're just Scott being Scott. You know,
Yeah,
and I think when you and I have connected over this time, because this is the first time we've actually been on my channel together, and it's like, you know, we can never get our schedules to align, but it's like we've
right.
been chatting on and off this whole time, and it was like
Yes.
we just knew right from the get go we're just regular guys who love the same kind of crap and just love
Yep.
talking about it and shooting the BS about it. And
Yep.
then we got a chance to meet at the meetup. It was like, oh yeah, we're like brothers from another mother, man. We're just hanging
Yep.
out. We're like, yeah, you were chatting up Mrs. Pops about the farm and whatever. And
Yep.
we're like, oh yeah. And I think, I don't know that we purposely do it, but I think that's what the connection is to the quote, the folks that are our audience or that want to watch what we have to say. Cause they just realize that we're not like blowing smoke and no one's being, I guess, malicious or like has ill intent. We're just like, listen, I got a hot take. Fine. I'm sorry that
Right.
you disagree with me. Tell me why you disagree. That's more fun than just yelling at me. Yeah.
That's my biggest thing, man. That's my biggest thing
Yeah.
is please disagree with me. Like I will never disrespect somebody for what they like. I won't get on them and attack them for what they like because I don't like it. I might tell them I think your taste sucks, and like I might make fun of it a little bit, but in like a friendly way. But like I have terrible taste. My wife has joked with me. She's sometimes like, you're like a 16-year-old girl with some of your like your favorite shows that you used to watch, because anything vampires I'm going to give a chance. So like the originals, love that. Loved it.
Yeah.
But like she's like, you're watching Buffy? I'm like, yeah. She's like, you're watching the Vampire Diaries? I'm like, I know it sucks, but I'm watching it. You know, like I don't care what you watch. Like, and if I make
There's something more effeminate in there than just the vampires. I know it.
Yeah,
'Cause I have way worse. I have way worse than the vampires. So I have like really girly love of like music. Like it's not really girly, but it is in the grand scheme of stuff. Like, you know, yeah, sure. I love AC/DC and Metallica. And of course,
right,
like I listen to a lot of Christian music, but it's more like rock music. It's not
right,
like, you know, Amy Grant. And then it's like, but when I listen to like softer stuff, it's like really cheesy, like Fleetwood Mac, like old school Fleetwood Mac or Journey and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Not like the rock, not the rocker Journey, like the
No.
soft Journey.
I'm with you. I'm there with you though, dude. I see nothing wrong with what you're saying right now. I met Amy Grant and her husband, Vince, what's his name? I met her and her husband. I was working in Pittsburgh at this event center this was before I stopped drinking and stuff, as a bartender, and they were doing a Christmas show, and they came up and like sat with us and like talked to everyone, anybody that worked there. They took the time to like talk to them and thank them. And I was like, wow, like you're not even like that popular anymore in like the, you know, the huge pop world, but you're still like the nicest people I've ever met. So yeah, dude, it doesn't matter. Whatever you love, you know? Whatever you love, you love, you know. And it took me a long time in my youth to get to a place where I accepted myself for that stuff. And it was, thank God I got it. Actually, I say long, but I got it quicker than most. Like by my senior year of high school, I was like, I don't care. Like, call me, like, I'm a captain of the football team. And yes, I love Star Wars. Bite me, you know, like whatever, dude. And
we were the anomalies if we like sports and nerdy stuff. Like, dude, we were the complete weirdos, weren't we?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah,
and it was this kid Joe Massaro. He was the one that made me realize it. I'll never forget. He was just like, I don't care what anybody thinks. I'm like, yeah, me either. And it was just wide open. And from then on, I am who I am. And you might get me on like an 8 when I'm on, you know, streaming with people and having a ball, but I'm that person. I'm just more probably excitable while I'm doing it, you know?
Gotcha. All right. So you're cruising along, you're doing your channel, you know, rocking and rolling, finding people. You're definitely part of this whole, you know, hashtag Rise Together. Everyone's supporting everybody. I'm still blown away about how cool everybody pretty much is. Like, I know there's drama and whatever, and be honest, for the most part, I'm just like, yeah, whatever. I just kind of keep moving and kind of ignore it for the most part. It stays away from me. I don't know how that works for other people, but that's how it works for me.
It works for me, dude. The smartest thing is just don't get involved in it. Because there's people that love drama, and I'm friends with. I'm still, you know, I'm friendly with them, but they love the drama. I just don't. I'll take a step away. Like, I told myself at the beginning of this, I'm doing this for fun, and when it becomes not fun, I'm going to stop. So I don't get involved in any of that because it'll make it not fun.
Yeah, agreed. And then just out of the blue one day, and I assume this is the day where you had the 2 strikes in one day, because I don't think I even saw this or heard this from you. I think someone else said, well, he has 2 strikes. And I was like, what the heck? Yeah. I didn't even hear about the first strike. And you're like, then I saw your stuff and I was like, no, it was like the same day. And I'm like, yeah, okay, hold on a minute. What do you mean the same? It was more like a WTF moment for me. And I've been doing this crap since they started. Like, I've been in YouTube world in some way, shape, or form for somebody dating back, you know, to the OG. And it was like, okay, that's not how they operate. Something's what is going on? And I don't know, man. I think it's crazy. And you defined it pretty early in the show, but the way I understand the way so here's the thing. They've had copyright stuff in place for a long time. Right. So that stuff has kind of worked itself out. Right. And then come along with shorts. They realized people could do these like edited shorts of copyrighted material. Right. And people would want to watch that. Like, people will sit there on the toilet rolling through shorts of, you know, little moments or highlights from Band of Brothers and Game of Thrones and whatever. Yep. And then they realized, oh crap, we're gonna be paying people for stuff that's technically like someone else's material, even though it's been modified. And I think they panicked and they made up this term, reuse content. I don't think this is something that existed until this moment. And you just got sucked up in this phase. No, just made it up as they went along.
Yeah. Yeah. And the worst thing about it is they told us we could do this. Like, we read, like, myself and Mr. Grant Gregory, he helps me out with like edited stuff. And like, we read all the guidelines, and what we made
hang
was
on 1 second.
within.
Hang on 1 second, Scott. I'm sorry. I think I blipped on you. Hopefully get our little dot back. That's so stupid. I hate this Wi-Fi nonsense.
I can hear you now. Okay. So no, what we did was we followed the guidelines the way they told us we should make content for shorts. We made edited changes. We spliced together a scene in a different way with different ratios, with words added. I mean, we did everything they told us to do. And then I think it was September 21st. It was like they hit about, I want to say 18 of my videos. And I then took the monetization off of everything that was a short, because I was like, okay, maybe that's the big deal. So I got the 2 strikes, and it was like a couple days later, they were like, yeah, we're gonna demonetize you. And I was pretty shocked by the like, okay, the strikes, whatever, but demonetizing me was like, wow, they really nailed me on that one. And I was just really starting to build, members. I was about close to 100 plus members. I was, it was starting to become something every month that I was like, wow, I'm really starting to grow this thing. And I was growing hundreds of subs a week, and it just all came to a stop. And they said I could dispute it. I went to Jane Theory, because she's smart, and she wrote out like this beautiful letter back to them explaining why I thought it wasn't, something they should be doing to my channel. I thought they were wrong. And their response was 30 seconds. They responded in 30 seconds, trying to tell me that an actual human looked at it and that they decided that they're still going to demonetize me. So I made a video. I think that was 15 seconds. They responded and said, yeah, we watched it. You're still demonetized. And it was like, wow, this is not good. So I decided to pump the brakes and wait till December 21st when the strikes came off to try to get monetized again, because I waited a month. That didn't help. I tried to get rid of the strikes. That didn't help. So yeah, I waited till, I want to say, the 1st of January. And again, they just came back out with that reused content, telling us that they literally told me all my videos are too much alike, which is BS, because I stream and do videos, so I don't know how they're all alike. They also told me that they don't want people just reading from articles or reviewing trailers or, things like that everybody does. So it was almost like they were coming after us, at least in our smaller sphere. Like before we could grow, they came after the smaller channels because the bigger ones were already too big for them to go after, in that way.
Yeah, I agree. Because like the whole concept of like the article reading thing, which I remember you talking about that, and it was like, Tim Pool wouldn't even exist if that was not if that was a problem. Like, what are you talking about? He made an entire living business of becoming a personality because of that. Like the idea of trailer reactions. We're talking about, the amount of trailer reactions has gone on for 10 years. It's so massive.
Yeah.
The problem is these companies would send you trailers, and then when you post them, they'll copyright claim you. Like, it's so freaking frustrating. It's like, so okay. All right. So we navigate through
you made
just
a valid
mountain of miscommunication. Yeah, go ahead.
You made a valid point, because the person that first gave me the, claimed those shorts was a random Gmail account that, when I looked it up, everything pointed to fraudulent. Even articles about this is most likely a fraudulent Gmail account. I added that to the letter explaining that to YouTube, and they were like, nope, don't worry about it. Like 30 seconds. It's like, well, did you even look into this? Like, I don't think people at Warner Brothers use a Gmail account. I'm pretty sure it's like at WB, like they're that big. It's just unbelievable how they allow people to strike you when it's not even their content. Like, I've had that with some of my theme songs, because somebody already had it on their channel. They give you, like, in your studio, like, this person might be copywriting you. And like, I have one that's like, Drunk 3PO might be copywriting you because he allowed me to do a video on his channel. Like you're telling me I could go after this person and make the money off of that video, even though he gave me the opportunity to be on his channel. Like, but they would allow it. That's the problem. Like, it's too easy to claim a copyright on somebody. They just automatically, your copyright struck,
Yeah, I noticed that there's this thing that popped up now too with like the face. think everything is so in flux right now, and they just don't know what they're doing. And I think a
Yeah.
lot of what you went through is like collateral damage of knee-jerk reactions to some of these things.
Yeah, I mean, I just noticed they updated just today. We've updated the inappropriate language and guidelines we announced on November 30th. So they just did it on November 30th, and this is the second time since then they've updated it. And it's like, don't get me wrong, I'm fine with it, but it's like after the first 8 seconds. So like in the first 8 seconds, if you say this, you're screwed. But if you say it after the first 8 seconds, you're fine. Like if you're not keeping up on what they change, because they literally created guidelines to come after channels like us that read articles, that do trailer reactions, and now like might slip up and use an F-bomb or say the S word. Like I don't even want to say it because they might demonetize you. It's really like, but then you have blatant channels that like can get away with doing anything. Like it's very one-sided, it feels like, and it's a certain type of channel they're coming after, and that's what it feels like. At least it feels like to me. I'm not saying they're actually doing it, but it feels like they're coming after one style of YouTuber, and it's usually the person bucking against the larger corporations, maybe some of the advertisers. It's just YouTube is no longer free of what it used to be back, even 4 or 5 years ago, where you can have a good time and not worry about your channel getting destroyed.
Yeah, because I thought we at least had some sort of idea, kind of like where the rules were, where the fences
Right.
were, and like how to navigate and how to play. And I think it's kind of what we all want to know. Like, what are the rules? And then please just kind of police those rules uniformly. Just treat us all pretty much fair. If you need to make a change effective a certain date. Maybe give us, should be able to grandfather in some content or grandfather in a time frame for us to adapt to content. We don't wake up one day like you and you have 2 strikes or
Yeah.
17 copyright claims or whatever they may be. It's like we should have, all of this seems like just such common sense that is lost in this whole world of things. And it's so frustrating.
It really is.
I actually heard a pretty lefty political site complaining about something that happened to them, but it was very video specific. Okay. So I don't know if they just stumbled into landmines, but I thought it was interesting that it at least was someone who was not saying the type of code words and things that normally get most people in trouble. It was something else. And I thought, whoa, that's different. That's interesting. So I don't know. I think there may just be a lot of collateral damage. There's reacting in so many erratic ways. They want to be TikTok and compete, but then they got themselves in trouble. And I don't know if the studios actually push back or if it's them reacting because it was so popular. Right. You know what I mean?
And that's the thing that kills me.
Because it's just like, oh crap, we're gonna have to pay all these people this money.
Right. Well, they want you to be they push shorts so much. And it was like, we want to go up against Instagram and TikTok. And Reels and TikTok videos, they're 30 seconds to a minute. Can you guys do that? Oh, look, and I mean, the views were insane. Like just doing a re-edit of a scene, 500,000 views. And it's like, wow, I don't even need the money. I was doing it more because first, I really was happy that House of the Dragon was decent. Second, it was getting me subs. And I wonder if, I tried doing it without the monetization and then they demonetized me anyways. So I don't know if that would have worked, but, it's this algorithm, the guidelines, you just never know what works. Some people hit it and fly up high, and other people were just kind of in the trenches trying to figure it out,
I do want to apologize again for folks for some of the audio has kind of gone in and out a couple of times, and I do apologize for that. I do have a storm that's kind of rolled in here locally, so yeah, it hasn't been kind to us, so I do apologize for that.
We'll have to do it again. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's the thing too, man. It's just we just it's our schedules is our limiting factor, folks. We'd love to hang out more often, and I
Yeah.
should be able to be on his channel. I should be able to join the Wednesday show this week. I don't think I have anything scheduled
Oh, that's awesome, man.
for the show for some of the shows. I try to come on the shows regularly. Doesn't
Yeah.
always work out, but you know. So Scott, how do you, or maybe like, what is the advice, like how to navigate today and tomorrow? Like, how are you approaching it?
So okay, so I did curb myself a little bit, but I will not censor myself to a point where I feel like I am not being honest. So the way I look at it is I'm going to keep doing what I do. I realize that the shorts were not the way to go, for me at least. And I think a couple other of my friends' channels, they grew massive and they got at least the sub count from it, but they got hurt for a bit being demonetized. What I think is I'm just going to keep trying to give good content, have some guests on my shows, have fun with my friends. And if they decide that's not good enough for them, then that's not good enough for YouTube. And I'll just stick with Rumble because I feel Rumble is, I'm trying to grow it over there. I have a little over 300 subs over there, or followers. And it just, I don't know how to work that world either. So it's like I'm trying to figure out that world because you could blow up over there. I've seen channels, become really big, but I don't also want to be fake and be like, attacking things I probably usually wouldn't attack. I respond. I'm more of a responder. Like I see something and I'm like, whoa, that's not kosher. I got to talk about that. Protecting the kids. I think that's a huge thing that gets a lot of our channels in trouble, which is weird. But, protecting children for things they shouldn't be learning at a young age and it's being thrown in their faces. Protecting our modern myths and the legacy of shows and movies that we loved that are now being trampled on and changed because we need to do it for a modern audience. Like those are the things I'll never stop talking about. And if that's not YouTube's the way they want to go, then I guess I won't be getting too big or be on YouTube. I hope that's not what happens because I really do like the platform, but it is what it is.
Should we start? Because I have at the top of my list, which is coincident you brought it up. I have at the top of my list is to check on my Rumble sync situation, to make sure my stuff is populating over there. But it's like, should we start promoting those videos? Should we start saying, all right, well, maybe the video instead of promoting, it just seems like it's just not taking, right? There's not enough grease in the wheel.
Right.
I think it has niches and people go there for certain shows or individuals, but for the most part, the masses are definitely not there. And I don't know if that will change or not.
There are masses, but it's just like they follow people that were already big on YouTube. So it's like, I don't know a lot of people in person. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know a lot that has just sprung up on Rumble that are massive. Like a lot of the times it's like, a couple 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, they get maybe 75,000 over on Rumble. The thing about what I like about Rumble is like during this whole demonetization and the strike thing, I made a tweet about, maybe Rumble's the way to go. And they reached right back out to me and were like, well, you're verified. You got your green check mark. Let's do this. So I plan on in the next month or two doing once a week purely on Rumble, or like start, because I stream Rumble, Twitch, and YouTube every Saturday and Wednesday night. So I'm wondering if or maybe it's definitely every Saturday night. I'm wondering if maybe like one stream I do an hour on all of them and then just go to Rumble for the last hour. Like, or just make Rumble like one Rumble video a week. Because I really do believe if you try with Rumble, they will help you. I've seen a lot of people actually grow and have, they're getting at least a lot of views over on Rumble.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it just, they need to work on their platform a little bit more, but I think they're really trying. Because we've had so many of these different ones, haven't we?
Yeah, it's just nothing. Yeah, it's just nothing takes, right? I played around with Getter for a while, and it was like an
Yep.
echo chamber of like, the same five minds. Like, yeah,
Yep.
they all have different icons or whatever, but it's like five different people and just different like
Yep.
performances. It's like, oh, okay, that's really not at all.
Right.
And then there's like, Facebook is for like, family,
Yeah.
the olders, the boomers, and the church people and stuff like
Yep.
that. It's great for sharing photos and stuff. Like, it's pretty easy to like go to a picnic and share 30 photos with the family, and oh, there you
Right.
go. You don't have.
Right.
So it's Facebook's still like really good for like that part of it, but I kind of like
Yeah.
even stopped posting my stuff on Facebook. I just don't.
Same
There's
here.
no like click through, like there's no click through rate, and they
Right.
stopped all of the interface. It won't
Right.
post automatically anymore, which that totally killed it for me.
Oh,
Like, it
dude, I
totally
noticed
like
that. Was that what it was? That because I've noticed
yeah,
Oh, that's terrible. I don't.
yeah.
It's also
Unless somebody
Instagram.
knows, how to turn it back on and fix it, maybe it's something wrong. But my Facebook YouTube interface stopped working, and it just
Same
wouldn't
here.
go through anymore automatically. And I'm
I
like,
thought
well,
that
what
was
the heck, man?
DuckDuckGo. I didn't know if that was because I use DuckDuckGo
Oh
or
yeah, maybe.
I don't know. But like also like Instagram. Instagram, I'm not that picture-y person. Like check out what I'm eating,
Mm-hmm.
this and that. So like I don't even know how to really use Instagram that well. Like I've grown because of Twitter and YouTube. That's pretty
Yep.
much it.
Yeah, Twitter's like, it's great. I had to see it. This is my third. I tell people it's still my third go around. I've deleted Twitter twice, so I'm like, I'm not doing it again. This is it. But I saw it as a networking tool. Like, it's my way to just talk to other creators and other folks that we're all interacting with, and it has
Right.
snowballed into like a little bubble of that for me, and that's pretty much it. I mean, I may hit the trending button from time to time to see if anything's like newsworthy, but
Right.
not like extensively. And
Yeah, no.
YouTube is the. Do you have TikTok?
Okay, that's a funny joke. Because the joke was I was a big deal on TikTok. It's a joke with like some of the larger YouTubers because I was the first to go over to like TikTok and really push it. And I have my third account now. I don't use it anymore because I really looked into what TikTok is. But I had like about 8,000 followers and it was growing. But TikTok to me is like the American TikTok is Tide Pops and I'm confused and look at me, look at me, look at me. While if you look at it in its own country, it's all about science and learning. And I just feel like it's not a good tool. It's just it's too much instant gratification for people and people wanting to like be TikTok famous, and that's not what I'm really about. So I have one, but I haven't been on it, and I can't even remember the last time.
I'm gonna clip that though, so everybody knows that he's a big deal on TikTok. For all of you guys,
I'm
so
a
just so
big
you know,
deal.
I'm a big deal
Big
on
deal.
TikTok. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I
clip
was a
that out
big
so everybody
deal.
has that.
Yeah, I was the man on TikTok for a while there, but my very first video on my first account, I got like 500,000 views.
R.I.P. Shorts. Not even deal with
Yeah,
that nonsense anymore.
I still do a short here and there, and I get like 10 views. Yeah, it's weird. Shorts are so weird. Like I never know what's gonna hit anymore. It's like literally they don't want to see me. So like I'm wondering if it's like, someone even told me with shorts, oh, all you need to do is if you're doing a scene from a show, also put yourself in it, like in the bottom corner, and then they won't hit you for that. It's like, what are all these little games we have to do? You know? Like it's
Hmm.
insane to me. But like some of the shorts have, they've average a couple thousand and some just stink. I don't know what to do with shorts anymore. So I kind
Yeah,
of
I'm
stay
with
away
you.
from
I
them.
don't. I was using it as a tool to like show off a trading card or a comic book or something like that. It's like, that kind of stuff, and thought of it as more
Right.
like an advertising thing. But I never looked at it as I'm going to make shorts. I just couldn't get my head around why, because I don't watch them. I don't enjoy them.
Yeah.
I guess the closest thing I watch to shorts would be like on Facebook, where I get caught up in the little loop of like, the basketball players with cool moves or something. I'll get into like a little,
Right.
closest I can come to it, I guess. I don't know. I just can't
I don't
imagine.
know either,
Doesn't
man.
work for me.
All I know is some people know how to work it. I don't. So if I don't know how to work it, I'll use it every once in a while. Like I tried one recently to tell people like, watch, join us tonight for a dump because that's the name of the Saturday stream. And I think it had 1 like. You know, like I don't even know. Maybe it
I
had
think
more.
that might have been me. I think I watched that. I think I watched that one. I was like, wait,
It
'cause I
probably
thought I was
was.
actually watching I thought I was watching the episode. I was like, oh wait,
Yeah.
it's Tuesday. It's the wrong freaking day. I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing. So yeah, that
Yeah,
might
it
have been
had
me.
33 views. 33 views
Yeah.
and 7 likes. So you were one of them. Thank you.
Yep, that's me. One of them was me. So yeah.
Nice.
All right. So we touched on it briefly. So it'll be like more fun now. We can talk about the not fun, but maybe we should stick on the fun part. Because entertainment is just like all over the map. I mean, I think this stuff has always existed. I've long said, listen, if you think that there wasn't woke content and all this other crap before, you're nuts. They were at film festivals. The stuff dates back for decades. I was covering it. The thing was, studio always wanted to make a lot of money. And that stuff was more like the artsy stuff. And every now and again, it would bleed over into like Oscar conversations. And you might run across one hit one that might take off. But it wasn't in like the equivalent of a superhero movie or a big budget sci-fi fantasy film. Now it's sort of everywhere. But setting all that aside, what are you doing that you're enjoying? What's like some of the fun stuff that you're actually watching and reading and enjoying?
Okay, I watch a lot of anime right now. Yeah, like I am definitely into anime. Probably all the normal ones. Like, let me think about that real quick. So like, I like shows like My Hero Academia, you know, the reincarnation of the strongest exorcist in another world. Like, you know, I think it's Sakai, maybe Sakai. There's another word I probably screwed up, where it's like someone dies in this world and then gets put into a fantasy world and is usually a little OP. I love shows like that.
Hold on one second.
I love the shows where somebody died in our world and went to a fantasy world. Like it was the god's mistake. Let's send them there. Now you're OP. You have like magical powers. So like By the Grace of God, Handyman, in another world. Like I love all those type of things. But then I like, you know, there's Chainsaw Man and Demon Slayer and Attack on Titan. There's so many good animes, and they're not like, there's strong female characters, but they also are feminine. There's strong male characters, but they can also be goofy and dumb. Like it's what we should be getting, and we're not. I mean, look.
Yeah, like I remember that time where we went Demon Slayer. Yeah, that's pretty much how this went. I think I'm like, crap. Yeah. So
there was moments where I didn't hear you for about 10 to 15 seconds, but when you went off and then came back on, it was like the perfect timing. And I just jumped back in. But yeah, there's probably parts where you said something in that middle and I totally missed it.
It's totally fine. Like I said, we're just gonna have to see what happens. I was rocking and rolling too, because like I said, I just got the new computer and I was like, oh man. And then I go in here. It's like right before we started, the storm started coming. Because I was with hopped over on another show. They were asking me to pop in there for a second for something. And it was like it started then. It's like the little meter pops up. I'm like, what's happening? No, come on. No, we've been running good all day.
Yeah, so I hate that meter. But you know what, dude? Like, you could do a bloopers reel too.
Oh yeah, I'm not so motivated with editing anymore. I don't tell you. They stay in. The bloopers stay in. Pretty rare that I'll cut it out, but
yeah.
So we'll close with like a little question. So all right, I don't know how we're gonna promote this, but so I'll close first. All right,
okay.
So, well, folks, I don't know what worked and what didn't work. Our What's Your Story sound was kind of all over the map, but hopefully you've enjoyed our time with Scott. It's been freaking great, man. Thank you, brother, for hanging out with us, man. It's been awesome.
Oh, no, thank you so much. I'd like to do it again when we don't glitch and bebop too much.
Yep. It's been, yep. Demon Slayer.
Yeah, I'm wondering if we blipped a couple times where it now sounds dirty. That'll be fun.
Oh, that would actually be a fun soundbite. Actually, that actually would be funny. Like, did Pops go crazy? Yeah, that'd be fun. So,
but no, honestly, a lot of fun. Thank you, man.